Welcome to our 2013-2014 Pac-10 Boys Basketball Preview Show. Gus and Olivia have loaded up the PCTV network sleigh, so let's go for a ride around the league. We are here for our first stop on the Pac-10 Boys Basketball Preview Show here at the Falcons Nest with Coach Scott Palladino. Coach, thanks for having us and leading off here in our show. Coach, how about a little State of the Union address here, a little preseason prospectus on how things been going for your club?
Okay, first of all, I just want to say appreciate you guys coming out here. I think this is a great job, great thing you do for our program. Kids really love to see you guys here, and it always created a lot of excitement when we're going to be on TV. So, but how we've been doing? We've been doing pretty well. I mean, you always look for improvement after your first scrimmage to your second scrimmage, and we just had our second scrimmage this past Saturday, and a lot better than our first one. A lot better than our first one. We still have a lot to work on. I think the key to our team this year is going to be, is how we play defensively. We have a lot of athletic kids, and we have a lot of athletes. So naturally, we're going to try and put pressure on the ball, and it's going to give us the freedom to use a lot of guys, which I think is another strength of our team, is we have a lot of depth. So the more guys you can use and get them to buy into, okay, we may only play, 3-4 minutes at a stint, but hey, you go in, relieve that guy, and the next guy goes in and goes as hard as he can for the next 3 or 4 minutes. So it's going to give us a lot of opportunity to get a lot of guys some playing time.
Coach, you talk about depth and athletes, and I always love the enthusiasm when I come in here. Not only is it a noisy gym, but I always love the enthusiasm of your kids when we come here. Talk a little bit about your returning players, some people who you think are going to make some real positive contributions for you this season.
We have a lot of younger guys, and we were looking for some positive things from our 2 sophomores, Dayon Doctor and Nazir Golston, which by the end of the year, they were in our starting lineup. So naturally, we're looking for big things from both of them. We had some returning guys. We had some issues last year. We had some internal problems last year. Some guys left the team, and we had to kind of make some decisions of who to bring back, who not to bring back, and see who fit where. And I think we worked on that during the off season, and I think we have a good cohesive unit. And we're getting back a kid, Ryan Klotz. Is going to give us a lot of size inside. He's a 6'6" kid. Takes up a lot. He's a space eater inside. He rebounds real well. Very athletic. He's going to help us. And Mike Gray is a returning guy that, one of the leaders, one of the 3-point shooting leaders that we had, last season. He'll help us. And then the last guy would be Mike Fowler. Mike Fowler, has been with our program now. He's been a starter for our program the last 2 years. So entering his junior year, we're expecting big things from him. Hopefully he's gotten all that, immaturity and young mistakes out of the way, and he's ready to just, soar this year.
Now, you talked about your depth and a lot of returning players. I want to ask you about, is there any newcomers that could make some noise on your program this year? I always get a lot of questions from the Pac-10 basketball junkies. Who's up and coming for these teams? And, if you could share any youngsters who are stepping up for you so far.
Well, we actually got a transfer in from Cheltenham. Our point guard this year is going to be Jaden Wade. And he's just been a godsend for our program. You as a coach know that, everything starts with a point guard. You need a point guard to run your offense, to distribute the ball. He's a solid defender. He's a strong kid. He's smart. And he's been a blessing for us. He's only a junior, so we're going to have him here for the next 2 years. And, he came to us probably last April, the end of April. So he played with us all summer long, and we had a really extensive summer program where we played about 50 games during the off season, just to try and get that cohesiveness.
Sure.
You need these guys to play together, and the more they play together, the more comfortable they feel on the court. They're also real close off the court, so you need that. Not just on the court, they're friends off the court. And I think that's what was missing last year. We had that divide with some of our team. And this year it just seems like we're all on the same page. We all have the same goal, and we're moving forward.
Well, that's great. That bodes well for the season, Coach. And finally, we always have a little fun at the end. Looking for a little behind-the-scenes story about your team, your program, something funny, something inspirational, something good you guys do. I think our coaches in the Pac-10 do a lot of great things, and sometimes people don't know all the good things that go on. And was hoping you could share one with us.
Oh, well, we've been doing it for the past couple years too. Like, I know our league does a lot of stuff for Coaches versus Cancer, and you know, I think it's a great thing, and we've been piggybacking off of that. And actually tomorrow night we have our yearly maroon and white game where our girls come in, our guys come in. We have an inter-squad scrimmage, and you know, a portion of that money, half of that money goes towards our, you know, Coaches versus Cancer. We'll make a donation towards Coaches versus Cancer, which I think is a great, like I said, is a great program, and I know that our league does a lot for it. And I just think that the more that we can do, I mean, I think everybody's been touched, you know, in some form or fashion with the disease, and I just think anything that our program could do for it, or anything our team could do for it, I think it's just a positive thing.
Sure. Absolutely, Coach. It's great that you guys do that, and really appreciate you taking a couple minutes to spend with us here in the middle of a spirited practice. Wish you good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Coach. Our second stop here around the Pac-10. We are here at Springford High School with first-year head coach Chris Talley. Welcome back to your alma mater after serving 2 years at O&J. I know a lot of the Ram faithful will be happy to see you on the sidelines running the program. Coach, how is the preseason going for you so far?
Well, thanks for having me, Coach, and thanks to the PCTV Network for being here and coming in practice. The preseason has been good. We got a late start with, you know, the late hiring, but the kids have responded well. They came to open gyms. You know, they really put the work in order to get ready for this preseason here.
Coach, talk a little bit about your returning players. Who's been, I think, some guys who can really step forward for you this year and lead you back to, I know you want to get back to that Final Four for Springford. Who are some guys who can do some good things for you?
One of the main things that's made it a little bit easier for us is we have 9 returning seniors. So that's a strong core. Primarily, point guard Drew Kakarika is going to, you know, bear a lot of the point guard duties this year. He's a 2-year starter. He's going to be a senior captain for us, good leader. Coupled with Nick Stanek, kind of does it all, can play the 3, 4, and 5. We rely on those 2 heavily with their experience. They've been battle tested.
Okay. Coach, how about any newcomers? You know, we always get viewers always ask us about newcomers, transfers, people who are up and coming, people in the program that you know, might be able to make some noise for you as well this year.
Yeah, definitely. I would say some of our, you know, maybe underclassmen, so to speak, would be junior Mike Olson. Okay. Has had a real good preseason for us, knocking down some shots consistently. And a 10th grader, which doesn't happen too often, especially around here, Cameron Phillips has done a lot of nice things for us, especially on the defensive end for.
How about, Coach, have you guys talked about goals? I know, you know, you mentioned the late start, which is always a little more difficult for you, but have you talked about some team goals with the coaching staff and the players?
Yeah, as a coaching staff, no matter, you know, where we're at, you know, our goals are always to win the Pac-10 title. You know, getting a Final Four appearance and then ultimately bringing that Pac-10 title back to Springford is always going to be a goal for us. The kids have came up with goals. And one of their goals is to win the Pac-10 title. They want to advance to the Final Four in District 1, and they want to lead the league in foul shot percentage.
That's great. There's some great goals to have. And finally, Coach, we always finish up with a kind of a fun one. And this year we wanted to talk about a little behind-the-scenes story, things that are going on behind the scenes for your program that you'd like to share with our viewers.
Yeah, the guys, we've really made a conscious effort to partner with our youth program, our feeder program. You know, it's one of the best in the area. You know, we get 1,400 kids year in and year out. So we've done a pretty good job. The guys coming in on Saturdays, working with the younger guys. You know, first graders, we had 70 first graders here last week, and everybody was here energetic, enthusiastic, and you know, we're doing some things during the season at games, some halftime events before the game. We're doing some spirit nights just to get them involved because, you know, to them, they look up to them, and it's exciting to partner with them.
That's great. Coach, hey, thanks for taking a couple minutes of your time.
Appreciate it.
I know practice already started up here without you. We'll let you get out there and get after it, and look forward to seeing you and your ball club this season.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys coming.
The PCTV network has made its way to the defending Pac-10 champions, Perkiomen Valley High School, and the Vikings Coach Mike Poison, thanks for having us, Mike. And first of all, congratulations on winning the championship last year. And the challenges will be great this year, having everybody with that big target on the back of your kid's uniform. Coach, how about a little State of the Union address? How's the preseason been going for you?
Been going very well. We've been very fortunate to have really strong commitment in the off season to get better, hitting the weight room, hitting the gym, getting ourselves mentally and physically ready to get better every day. It's been great to have the commitment, especially from the young guys. Younger guys coming out by the dozen they see what they like out of our old players and they want to be a part of it. And it's a sort of new experience for Perk Valley to have people excited about basketball. It's been a little while, but it's great to have that excitement and momentum back in Viking country.
That enthusiasm and excitement is contagious. Talk a little bit about some of your returning guys who are looking forward to the challenges of this year.
We have, and we're fortunate to have only lost two really solid players in Brett Davis and Steve Leonard. We have really four dynamic players coming back in the form of point guard Brunell Wilson, wing Makai Clemens, wing Rashawn Stewart, and forward Tyler Krause. All four of those guys were extremely instrumental in our success last year. And behind them we have what is one of the strongest sophomore classes I've been fortunate to see. I'm expecting big things out of them to kind of fill some gaps for us.
Okay. Well, speaking of the sophomores, could you share with our viewers maybe some up-and-coming guys from that class who have a chance to make some noise for you this year?
Sure can. We have a whole crop of young guys, Sean Moriarty, Cullen O'Connor, Ethan Hodson, as well as some guys who are not new to basketball, but new to us as a team coming this year. Tyler Kane played for me as a JV player, took a year off due to an injury, but he's back this season. And we were fortunate to have, hasn't played for a couple of years, but back after a great football season, senior Dakota Clanagan, who we're looking for really big things out of him as well.
That's great. Now, Coach, I don't know if your players and your staff, you had a chance to talk a little about some goals your teams might have this year, things you're shooting for?
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, we're in a new position in that, we're going to get everybody's best shot this year. And our goal, more than anything, is we want to earn the right to defend our title. We have to earn it. We have to earn it every single day in practice, every single game. Plenty of teams will win, and then the next year they're not around.
Right.
It is a challenge for us to want to earn the right to defend. So we try to stay focused on that throughout. And we lost sort of a heartbreaker in districts that we felt had a little momentum going, and
right.
we lost there at the buzzer in overtime against Penwood, and we want to be relevant in District 1 basketball.
Good for you. Good for you. Final question, Coach. We always like to do some interesting questions at the end, and this year we're looking for a little behind-the-scenes story from you, things that go on in your program, or some groups or organizations or someone you'd like to talk about.
We have in our feeder program, PVYB, we have two young brothers, and their older sister plays for the girls team, who the organization puts on a huge Thanksgiving Day shootout. Raise money for the family and raise money for college and give back to the community. And our guys, I challenged them this year and I said, listen, you have to give back to things bigger than yourselves. And we had all 22 players out running clocks and selling tickets and admissions. It was completely, there was no strings attached. It was do it because it's the right thing to do. Do it because our youth organization made lots of you guys, the young men and the players you are, that's how you give back. You don't realize it, but people look up to you because you represent the high school and because you play for the basketball team.
That's great, Coach. Coach, that's a great message that you give to your players. Again, looking forward to seeing your club, and thanks so much for having us in.
Thank you. Pleasure.
We're here at the brand new Phoenixville Gymnasium with veteran coach Randy Reber. Coach, great to see you, and I love this new facility here you have. How have things been going here this preseason for your ball club?
We're working real hard. I'm real happy we're starting to gel together because we have some new players that have come back to the school. So the preseason's been a lot more of just getting used to each other, but we made some good strides with a good scrimmage on Saturday, so we're looking forward to getting the season started.
Good. Now, Coach, you mentioned some returning players. You want to talk a little bit about some of your returning players from last year?
Yeah, our top 2 players that we returned, starters from last year, is DeAndre Gadsden, who's a junior this year, 6'1" combo forward guard who started for me for 2 years, started as a freshman, and has really improved his game in that he's stretching out now and playing a little perimeter because he's only 6'1". Okay. You know, we need to get him out there so that people can look at him. And then Eric Wallace, our captain, a 6'2" guard who started last year, good 3-ball shooter, but he's really expanded his game to mid-range, go to the basket, things that you need to do, you know, from year to year. So they're the 2 top returning players that we have.
Okay. And always question is some new guys. Do you have any transfers, any guys up from JV or newcomers, 9th graders who you think might be able to make some noise for your program this year?
Yeah, we have Michael Anthony is up from our JV team and came up late in the year last year and has developed into a real nice player. Also, another sophomore up from the JV team, Chris Kelly. He's grown about 5 inches since last year, so we're going to get him some inside looks. And then we have a few ball players that have moved into the district. Some of them were with us, you know, earlier, right. And then they moved away, and now they're back. We have Trayshawn Rabalski and Billy Kedra, 2 seniors that are back that could really give us some good minutes, and our starting point guard is a sophomore from the Phoenixville area, but was at Church Farms, has come back to Phoenixville. So, you know, that's why I was saying we need to get used to each other, and they're starting to understand what we want to do and what each other can do.
That's great, Coach. Between your coaching and this new gymnasium, it's great to hear some of these kids are coming back, because that's certainly a plum for Phoenixville, having your coaching in this new gymnasium to work in. Certainly continue to build some excitement here at Phoenixville. And speaking of excitement, Coach, one of the things we're talking about this year with our coaches is something behind the scenes that you or your kids do, whether it's community service, something like that. A little behind the scenes look at something your program does for your community.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our players. Every year at the end of the year, we have an elementary tournament where we bring the 3 elementary schools in, and our players get to run the practice sessions, they get to pick the teams, and then they coach the teams.
Okay.
And it's a joy to see the excitement of the youngsters that are in 4th and 5th grade coming and you know, looking up. It's called Future Fams with a PH for future. Okay. And it's sort of neat. And we're just starting. It's funny because it's my 4th year. I'm starting to get some of these fellows now coming in as freshmen into the program. And but they get so excited to be with the varsity players, and I think that's just a great thing. And it generates some fun. It's a all-day affair. You know, parents, we actually packed the gym, which is neat, and it gets exciting. And last year it was amazing. We used to have school play school, but some schools had a little more talent at one time than another, and I wanted the games to be competitive. Sure. So we wound up picking teams, and like every game was like a 3-point game. Yeah, that's great. It was wild, and our kids had fun. They start fighting over wanting to coach more than one team. So, and it's a great maturation process for our kids too. You know, to have responsibility to do that, and we're quite proud of it.
Sure, and now finally your players finally learn some of the frustrations you go through when players don't listen or don't carry something out, or it's a whole different animal. But Coach, that's great stuff. Coach, thanks so much for having us. Great to see you, and looking forward to seeing your ball club this winter.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
We are here at Metheny High School with Coach Jeff Durstein. And Coach, a little different scenery here. It's nice with these new bleachers you have here at the school. Brightens things up. Beautiful Metheny green. But thanks for having us. And Coach, how's the preseason been going so far with your ball club?
Well, I just want to start by saying thanks for the opportunity to come out here and get exposure for our program and our league. I think it's really a great thing that you guys do. So things are going well. You know, we're a couple weeks in right now, and kids are working very hard. You know, the first couple weeks, it's a sprint here to the start, and the kids have really been giving it everything that they have and working hard, and we're excited about this weekend getting the season underway.
Speaking of getting things underway, Coach, talk a little bit about some of your returning players from last year.
Well, We have seniors, Joe Rule and Zach Jenkins, who started a good, most of the year last year. Dylan Alderfer is also a senior and got big minutes as we went down our stretch run last year. And then juniors, Justin Arvin and Sean Mann, I think each started at some point and got big minutes for us. So we have 5 guys returning who have significant varsity experience from last year.
Well, that's great, Coach. Now, you have any newcomers this year? Maybe a transfer, a guy up from JV, a 9th grader who has a chance to make some noise in your lineup this year?
Well, no transfers, but we have 5 kids, 4 who played JV last year, 1 who sat out the year last year and is back with us. So, Rich Dunham is a sophomore, was our point guard on the JV team last year, and we're expecting big things from him jumping into the lineup. Okay. Tom Dyer, Chris McCarthy are 2 6'5" guys who were a big part of the JV team last year. TJ Tornetta was a big part of the JV team as well, and then junior Alex Kilgore is back with us. So we have some depth this year, and it's been a lot of fun watching our scrimmages because I've been mixing the lineups up a lot, and there's been a lot of competition. So it's been inspiring for me to watch the guys really compete and battle and push each other.
Yeah. Nice to see, and that's always a sign that you've built a program, Coach, because we always say that, when you continually rebuild through that JV program, the kids develop, your JV staff, your junior high staff does a great job and builds them and gets them ready for you. That's a sign that you built a program, so good for you and congratulations. Finally, Coach, we always say that the people around the league don't realize all the great things that coaches and programs do behind the scenes. There's a lot of good things that they do, and I know you do some neat stuff. I'd like you to share it with our viewers.
Well, one of the things I think that's great for our program and great for a lot of the kids in the community, over the holidays, we always do a mini clinic. So it's about 2.5 hours on one of the days. This year it's going to be on the 23rd, when we have a little bit of a break in our schedule.
Right.
And really the kids come in and our kids basically run the show and do a great job of teaching a lot of the things that we teach during our practices. And, the elementary school kids eat it up, so they love getting the chance to get to know some of the players that they come and watch. And it's a great experience for our kids who, get a taste for what it's like to be in our shoes as coaches.
Absolutely.
And then it helps them learn the things that we're trying to teach them as well. So
hear that from so many coaches about players learning to coach and players learning to officiate games. They have a lot of respect for those older adults who are doing those things. They realize how difficult a chore that is. But Coach, thank you so much for having us. Good luck and looking forward to seeing your team this season.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We're here at Bucktown at Owen J. Roberts High School. Great to see Kevin Kirby back on the hardwood. Coach, great to see you. Congratulations. Missed you for a couple years. It's great to see you back. Give us a little State of the Union address here on your preseason with your ball club.
Hey, it's great to be back. Thanks for coming. I really missed it, and I'm excited to be back. State of the Union, we have a great group of kids. They've been working really hard. Just been a lot of adjustment for them. And I said, I guess it's my fault initially, but they're playing for their 3rd coach in 4 years, these seniors, even though it's been me twice. But what it is to them is transition and transition and transition again. So, but they've been working really hard. They've been great. We have some good senior leadership, some good players on this team. And just really excited to get going with the season here in a couple days.
Great, well, good for you. Coach, I know you got started here late with the hiring and everything, but have you and your staff or players had a chance to sit down and talk about some goals, for your team this year?
We have a little bit, not all of them, maybe not, in totality there, but it starts and ends for me and the kids with getting these seniors in the playoffs, and that's what we want to do. And whether that takes 11 wins, 12 wins, not that that's a limit we're setting on ourselves, but certainly we know that's the bottom line to get into the playoffs. And like I said, they've been a great group of kids. They've worked hard for Chris. They've worked hard for me. They're working hard for me again. And they deserve to play in a playoff game. And I know that's something that's important to all of them, especially the seniors as their last chance. And we're just committed to try to make that happen for them.
Well, that's great. You mentioned your seniors, Coach. Would you talk a little bit about, your returning guys who, think are going to make some noise for you this year?
I mean, obviously, Matt Kreider's an exceptional player. He played a lot as a freshman when I was here. You know, his scoring's been, you know, very, very good the last couple of years. And what I've seen, you know, because I did come to a few games the last 2 years, and what I've seen, his growth from then to now is his ability, his trust in his teammates, and his ability to make the pass. And I think he might score a little less, but I think that's going to translate to more wins. And he's been a great leader, and we expect big things from him this year. You know, also in that senior class, some returning players. You have Chris Patrick, who may or may not be a starter. I know he's logged a lot of minutes for those guys over the last 2 years. Sam Murphy's an exceptional player. Averaged about 10 points a game last year. You know, he's really versatile. He can play inside, he can play outside, he can handle. I think he led the team in three-pointers made last year. So he really presents some matchup problems. We're really looking for some big things from him. Ben Condello is a kid that is a really good shooter, got some time as a 9th grader at the varsity level because of his ability to shoot the ball. And again, kind of with Matt, Ben's growth, you can tell, you know, the last couple of years, he's more than a one-trick pony now. He can put the ball on the floor, he defends better. And, you know, those 4 seniors aren't the only 4, but that's who we're really going to rely on for some leadership and some solid play.
That's great, great. Now, every year, Coach, it seems like everybody's got a transfer, a guy up from JV, maybe a 9th grader. There's some young newcomers that you think may have a chance to, you know, make some noise or crack your lineup this year?
We've been really pleased. We've been fortunate. There's 2 sophomores that are going to dress on the varsity here from the beginning. One of them is Mitch Bradford. He's a point guard. He's an exceptional athlete. He was the quarterback on the football team as a sophomore. And he's got a toughness and a tenacity about him, and he's fearless. And you know, we really like the way he pushes the ball and defends at the point guard position. And another kind of dark horse is Cameron Reed. He's a 6'5" sophomore. He's long. He's lanky. He's really done a nice job. He's grown a lot over the last year or 2. And you know, in our scrimmages so far, he's played a little JV and a little varsity, but you know, I don't know when the future is for him, but I think it's bright. Okay. Hopefully it's soon.
Well, very good. Well, Coach, you know, congratulations on coming back to being on the hardwood. It's great to see you, and thanks for having us in, and wish you good luck this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. We're here at Pottstown High School with Coach Cal Benfield, head basketball coach. And Coach, thanks for having us in. Great to see you. I always love coming here. I love your facility. It's a great little facility, great practice going on, a lot of spirit and enthusiasm. How things been going so far?
Good. Kids are working well. They love the new floor. We got the floor repainted, you know.
It looks great.
Yeah, they love it. But the kids are working real hard, you know. So it's been positive.
That's great. Now, have you and your coaching staff players had a chance to talk at all about, you know, team goals or anything to shoot for this year?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, we want to be competitive. You know, in every team we play, we want to be able to walk. We want to be able to walk away saying that we worked hard. You know, that the chips fall where they may. We start off with the same goals. We want to make playoffs. We want to be in districts, and ultimately, we love to play in a state game.
Right.
You know, so these are team goals that we have. You know, and then individually, we always want to be able to say we've worked hard.
Yeah. That's great. There's some great goals you have, Coach. And talk a little bit about some of your returning guys who you're going to count on heavily this year.
First is Denzel Harvey. He was second team All-League.
Right.
Heck of an athlete. Very good football player, very good basketball player. One of the quickest, most explosives I've coached. You know, he's a scorer. And we're going to rely on him a lot. Next up is Bryant Quill, who was he's a junior, forward, about a 4-man. He started for us every game last year. Those will be our captains. You know, we're going to rely on them heavily. We've got to make sure that we don't get caught up in watching them perform, you know, because the rest of the roster is made up of kids who played JV last year, but now they're stepping into the new territory. So there's Rich DeVivier, junior guard, passion for the game that is unmatched, just loves to play.
That's great.
You know, Dave Smalls, short little point guard, prototypical point guard. That's good. And we have a transfer from Australia, which was an interesting story.
Right.
And he's learning the game because it's different. He's learning the speed of the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, that leads me into my next question. Talk about, you know, some newcomers, some people you might have transferred in. You're talking about your Australian transfer or any other young guys coming up through your system who you think have a chance to make some noise for your program this year.
Yeah, I think Jace Beasley is the youngster from Australia.
Right.
His parents were from around here. He was born and raised in Australia, and I love the story. He wanted to go to college in America.
Right.
And he wanted to hopefully try and play basketball in America.
Right.
And so that was the commitment that he and his mom and his dad came to, and his guardians are his dad's sister, you know. Okay. And so he's here, and he's working hard, you know, and it's an adjustment for him, you know, and I admire him because his parents aren't here.
Yeah.
You know? So he must miss them.
Yeah, I had a chance to visit with him a little bit here in the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Seems like a really nice young man, and that's a great story.
Yeah,
and Coach, wanted to finish up with a little behind-the-scenes thing. We talk so often that people around the Pac-10 don't realize all the great things that coaches and teams do behind the scenes. Would you share something, a little behind-the-scenes story, some things going on with your program?
Oh, sure. We, well, you know, the Coaches versus Cancer Week, you know, here in the Pac-10, it's a big deal. We as coaches, love it. I mean, when I say love it, I mean we love to be able to support a cause that every single person is affected by in some way, friend, family member, whatever. So we do a coin drive up and down, you know, for the entire week. Kids walk into classrooms, lunch, and coins, and we donate that money. Another thing we do a youth camp in the summertime for youngsters in Pottstown.
Right.
You know, we run for 3 days, and you know they get a chance to, you know, meet some good basketball players and learn the game.
That's great.
So,
That's great. Good stuff, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, thank you for having us in.
Coach.
We're going to let you get back to your little spirited practice here, and wish you good luck. Look forward to seeing your team play this year.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Cal. Okay. We're here on our Pac-10 tour, and today we're at Upper Perk High School with new head coach Jared Krupp. And Jared, thanks for having us in.
Not a problem.
Guys have a little 11-man fast break drill going on behind us. How's things been going this preseason for your club?
Things have been going well. We've had a lot of guys come out to our open gyms, and we've really had the boys working real hard, and they've really made a commitment to defense, a commitment to team play, and I've been really happy about just how they've been working over the last few months.
That's great. Now, I know you've been down at the junior high level for the past 4 seasons, so you're very familiar with these guys.
That's correct.
Have you had a chance to sit down and talk about goals, you know, with your team and your coaching staff?
Our goal as Upper Perk is we really want to change our basketball culture. Unfortunately, over the past 3 years, we haven't had very successful records, and we want that mindset to leave these guys. And through the hard work and effort that they've put in, through their commitment to defense, through the commitment to team play, and just the work ethic that they've displayed, I really think we can get Upper Perk basketball to a competitive level again.
Well, that's great because defense and hard work are a staple of any successful program. So you're starting off on the right note, so good for you. Talk a little bit about some of your returning players.
Some of our returning players. I know that we return Michael Winters and Josh Winder, both of which are seniors, both of which have started last year. And we're returning our key point guard, Matt Rusky, as well, and Nate Weinstein, both of which are juniors. And we expect a lot of that of those 4.
That's great. Now, how about any newcomers coming up? Maybe some guys from the JV last year, or any 9th graders, any transfers you have in who you think might have a chance to make some noise with your varsity club?
One of our key guys, we have a junior named Isaiah Stokes. He's a solid ball player, a solid shooter, a real athletic kind of a basketball player. We expect stuff out of him as well. But a lot of our guys coming off of the bench are aware that it's a team aspect, a team game, and we're really looking for all of our guys to step up little by little and win games not just by one player taking over, but by the whole team really coming in and gelling together and working together.
Well, that's great, Coach. Coach, I wish you good luck. I know you're teaching over there at the 3rd grade, and you're all over the district, and I love your enthusiasm here. Wish you good luck and look forward to seeing your team this year.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
We're here at Boyertown High School with Coach Mike Ludwig. Mike, thank you for having us into your practice. You guys always run a spirited, enthusiastic practice. How about a little State of the Union address on Boyertown boys basketball here this preseason?
Well, we're glad you're here, Dave, and you know, it's been a great preseason so far. Guys are working extremely hard. We have a nice mix of kind of returning guys from last year and some new guys that are coming into the mix and working hard and finding their spot and their groove. But this team is a real hard-working, go-get-it team, and I like that.
Well, that's great, Coach. Now, Any goals of your team, your coaching staff had a chance to sit down and talk about some goals for your club?
Sure. We're focused obviously on trying to get to the Pac-10s. I think that starts every season for us.
Right.
Our goal is to get back into the Pac-10 playoffs and getting into that second or first spot in our division. And then obviously we're hoping to get back into district play. So getting to the playoffs again is a goal for these guys, and it's still a pretty young team. We have one senior and the rest are juniors and sophomores. So we're a young team, but we want to continue to build and grow the next 2 years.
Good, good. Now, Coach, speaking of playoffs and stuff, who are some of your returning guys you're going to be leaning on to help lead you towards that playoff run?
Sure. Ryan Corcoran is returning Pac-10 honorable mention last year as a sophomore, so he's a junior returning. Tyler Bauman is our senior leader, so he'll be a big key to it. Kyle Denon also was a starring sophomore for us last year, and he'll be adding some things. So those three guys are kind of our returning leadership in those roles.
Okay. And so then obviously we get a chance to talk about some new guys.
Sure.
You have some guys, ninth graders, or some guys up from JV, or any transfers in, some newcomers you think could make some noise in your program this year?
Well, we have a bunch of guys that we're excited about. Our JVs were solid last year. Guys moving up from there. Christian Smith does a real nice job at the point guard spot for us. Colton Moyer, big kid inside, about 6'6", rebounds.
Nice.
Does some really nice job defensively, protecting the paint for us. Ben Longacre, who's a sophomore this year, going to give us a nice spirited lift off the bench. And we got a transfer too. Kevin McAteer, who unfortunately missed the basketball season last year at Springford due to an injury in football, transferred in, and he's in Boyertown now. We're excited to have him.
Well, that's great. Coach, wanted to finish up with some things. We've been talking about all the great things that coaches and programs and players do for their community. I know you kind of do some neat stuff here. What are some of the things you guys do to give back to your community here?
Well, I think our guys have always been involved with our youth program. We do several clinics where the kids do, coaching with the kids. We do camps in the summertime where the kids are involved. And it's just a real nice way for them to give back to the programs that have been there to support them as they grew up. Right. So it's a great thing.
That's great, Coach. Well, Coach, thank you very much for taking time out of practice. It's always a pleasure to come here and visit with you and see your ball club. Looking forward to seeing your team play this season.
We're excited about it. It should be a great year in the Pac-10.
We're here at Pope John Paul High School with Coach Flanagan. And Coach, thanks for having us. And Coach, how has the preseason been going? Give us a little update on your State of the Union of your boys basketball program here.
I would say overall, and I would say this, I guess, as President Obama would say, or any president, the state of our union is strong.
Okay.
However, the state of that union would be, we're not going to get any faster, we're not going to get any quicker, we're not going to get any stronger, we're not going to get bigger Friday night when we have our first game against Springfield Delco. And then Sunday we play, and then I guess next week we start a league schedule. So we're trying to work on all the little things and all the fundamentals.
Okay. Coach, talk a little bit about some of your team goals. I had a chance to sit down with your coaching staff and players and talk about some things you guys are shooting for this year.
With this group coming in, we have goals that we always have within this program, which is first and foremost our league playoffs, and then it's the state tournament is what we would really look at and try to adjust accordingly. But to get to that goal, we look at the goal every day, which is simply to get better at the areas of the game that you have to, and defense, rebounding, taking care of the ball on offense, and really finding out who we are and who we can be.
Absolutely. How about some of your returning players, Coach, that you're going to be counting on and leaning on, especially early on in the year with a lot of new faces you have?
The first guys that come to my mind are obviously our senior captains. James Blemming, who last year was started at the guard position for us. James also plays baseball and is going to Lehigh, but I'm glad that he's on the hardwood before he's worried about the diamond. And then Tim Tadros plays the guard forward position, as well as I guess you'd say Mikey Chinchilli, who will probably run more of the point guard position for us. And then after that, we have a lot of depth. It's just that they're not necessarily varsity tested or have that experience. Whether it's Paul Tagliatella or James McEwen, Matt Mazzaros, Rosario Paloro, and Sean Rafferty, Chris Kusevich. I could go on and on. We have a great group of kids, and I think the best thing for them is they have a unique togetherness that extends beyond the basketball court.
Well, they do have some uniqueness, Coach, because they are unique when you're trying to pronounce their names, and you're a lot better at it than we are.
I always say anytime they have a Z in there, I'll do my best.
But we really enjoyed that, especially enjoyed that Glen Mills game last year. That was really neat to cover that game. But Coach, how about any newcomers, guys maybe who are up, ninth graders, up from JV, some transfers, people who have a chance to make some noise that maybe viewers aren't familiar with?
The one guy that came in was somebody who was very local. Nick Gianpietro is his name. He went to grade school at Holy Family. He's a local guy. He had gone to another high school, and as it turns out, was a better fit for him academically,
okay.
As well as, I guess you'd almost say, geographically, because he lives closer to Pope John Paul. Who it was one of those ones where it kind of, I got his email after he registered and signed up, and you know, kind of came aboard, and it's been a nice surprise for us in play.
That's great. That's great. And finally, Coach, we've been talking a little bit with the coaches throughout the league about some behind-the-scenes looks. And I know that you guys have a tremendous community service project you do. I've often said that our coaches in the PAC-10 and their programs do so many nice things a lot of people don't even know about, and you have a special one that I'd like you to share with us.
One of the things that we do, we try to establish a little bit of a connection with some of the CYO programs that are in the area, whether it's Sacred Heart, St. Eleanor's, Visitation, whatnot. But the neat thing that we do every basketball season, and it's smack dab right in the middle, is we give up a day of practice on December 31st, and we ring in the new year with a group of I guess you would say handicapped children, but I would really just rather say just the children that we meet with at St. Edmund's Home.
Okay.
Our guys go there with them, and we spend the morning of December 31st getting ready to ring in the new year. We build gingerbread houses, and then it's pretty neat, at about 11:45 a.m., they assemble in a room that's like this, but a little bit smaller, with a wood floor, and they put down bubble wrap. And all of the children that are in wheelchairs, our guys kind of assist them, and they roll them over the floor as a lighted ball is dropped right at 12 noon. And that bubble wrap makes these firecracker sounds.
Sure.
And I guess the neatest thing for me as a coach, but as an educator, is seeing our guys go from year 1 to year 4, but also the younger guys from when we first get there and they're a little hesitant to the time that they leave, and I'm telling them, guys, all right, it's time to go, and you know, they want to stay another 5 or 10 or 15 minutes because it's something that they had heard about and now they're experiencing, and they realize that it's the kids that are there are just like the kids that we have here in our school or that we play against. You know, they just want somebody to be with them, to hang out, to talk, to get to know them. It's really neat.
Coach, that is a neat story, and thank you so much for sharing that
thank
story.
You.
And thanks so much for having us down, and looking forward to seeing your ball club play this season.
I just hope we can get out there and compete.
Hope you enjoyed our special PAC-10 basketball preview show. A special thanks goes out to all the coaches along the PAC-10 who've been gracious enough to grant us special access at their practices. Hope to see you join us on the road to the PAC-10 Final Four here on the PCTV network.